everyone, I'm Mishka. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's episode of Our Life Beginnings and Always, we are going to be continuing with the wedding DLC, and we are on part 4, I believe. Wow, oh my god, we're on part 4 of this. I can't wait for the actual wedding, but if you have not seen the previous episode, make sure to go watch that to understand like where we're at, sort of. But yeah, before we get started, make sure to subscribe button and share this video with your friends so they can find out about my amazing channel just like you have right now. So yeah, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy. As per usual, you, Cove, and Baxter met up on another day for another session. A few lighthearted words were engaged as Baxter watched the two of you amusedly. Cove's mood was still shining and Baxter could tell. I take it the cake design went well. Yes, it did. Like a child who was excited to show their latest work of crayon art to their teacher, Cove shared the news with pure happiness. We're getting a really big one. I'm so pleased to hear that. What shall we be doing today? Oh! I want to do the dance sessions. Oh, you want to get started on that? Exciting. Baxter gestured down to the other door in the space, rolling his wrist to point where with his hand hole in an extravagant gesture. There's a room here in the building you can use for dance lessons. I'll need to schedule it, of course. We need to be certain there wouldn't be any conflicts. If you could wait a moment, please. He pulled out his phone and swiped his fingers a few times, his brow furrowed as he checked some sort of calendar. He tapped something with a flourish and looked up with a groan. Cove watched with open antiness. I don't know how to say that. Cove and I can attend lessons in the afternoon, then Mia, we can have the evening. I believe I can pencil a lesson as early as tomorrow for the first sessions. Happily, there was enough vacancy in the event room for individual sessions. One-on-one lessons are ideal for this. Every person is at their own level and will need guidance with different aspects. I can get everything arranged today if that works for you. Cove nodded seriously. There was no hesitation coming from his corner despite his jitteriness. Let's do it. You shot Cove and Baxter a please thumbs up. Yeah, that's good. Baxter placed the phone down to clasp his hands together. His enthusiasm was hard to miss. Excellent, I'll make it happen. And he did. Baxter made the necessary arrangement right afterwards. He asked for your input occasionally and finalized the times. He planned each detail out exactly. Any specific idea that you could... Oh, God, that you could... Oh! Okay, hold on. That Cove or you have was jotted down and added to the considerations. What kind of music are you thinking of? Oh. Would you rather go with something fast or something slow? It doesn't have to be ballroom staples. I'm more varied than that. A recent wedding I helped with went with classical music for the first half and then early 2010s dance music for the last half. There is no wrong answer to this. Cove shrugged and left space for you to answer. I want love songs. Oh. I want love songs, please. You had already started thinking about what songs best fit Cove in your relationship. Baxter nodded approvingly. Cove was even more supportive of your recommendation. Cool, I think I can guess some of the songs you're hoping for. Of course, and speaking of, let's chat about particular tracks. After continuing to discuss music selections for a while, your office time with Baxter finished and it was time to leave for the day. Goodbyes were said, knowing that the separation wouldn't last long. Tomorrow wasn't far. The hours passed by quickly. It felt like a blank by the time the session rolled around. A bit after lunch, you drove Cove over to his first solo dance lesson with Baxter. He was definitely nervous on the drive there. Despite his usual anxiousness, he insisted he wanted to do the lesson on his own. He would show you his moves after he practiced. You wished Cove luck and dropped him off, hoping he had a good time. You drove off as soon as he had disappeared into the building. The plan was to run errands until it was time to pick him back up. You had heard about a new store that had opened recently. It was close enough that you decided to check it out and see if they had anything worth getting. Unfortunately, the store didn't have a good selection compared to other options, but you stalled in the stack up In the snack section. You debated buying something in order to not leave empty-handed. A chocolate bar. You plucked a bar off the shelf and bought it. Another store that you knew would have what you needed was minutes away. A short drive later and you were on your way to finishing your errands. It was nice to keep busy while waiting for Cove. When the time came, you drove the car up to the front of the building, stopping where Cove stood on the sidewalk. Cove greeted you with a smile and hopped into the car. He closed the door behind him and buckled his seatbelt with a click. How'd it go? Cove shifted in his seat while rubbing the back of his neck. It was awkward, as you probably guessed, but not that bad. He brightened as he thought back. You listened to the 𝐕𝐤𝐬𝐯. I don't know how to say these words, okay? And his voice even as you focused on driving through the parking lot. Baxter is kind of a good guy, not a bad teacher. You pulled out from in front of the building and started making your way through the first intersection. What did you talk about? To yourself, you admitted you were really curious. From what you could remember that summer years ago, Cove and Baxter never spent time with just each other. Cove hummed and thought. We mostly just focused on the dance lesson. I think we also talked about some general wedding stuff. He asked me about the material of napkins I liked. What? Nothing personal. He didn't bring up anything from back before, even when he wasn't our wedding planner. He paused for a moment then continued. It had to have been on purpose. I guess he didn't forget how I get uncomfortable when people acted too friendly too fast. You heard Cove tap the car door with his fingertips. His fingertips as he made a right turn. I wouldn't have minded talking a little more now, so we kind of made progress in more than just my coordination. A smile tugged at your lips that was good to hear. You finally pulled into a parking space and parked the car. You couldn't linger in the car too long given your own lesson. It was time to go. You looked at the grocery bag in the backseat with the snack you had bought. You offered some to Cove. If you're hungry, feel free to snack. He probably needed some fuel after dancing for so long. You pointed over at the food and Cove's eyes widened at the sight. That's gonna be good. I'll see you later. Bye, I love you. I love you too. Bye, Cove. You left Cove at the car and walked with a bounce in your step to meet up with your wedding planner turned dance instructor. The doors of the office building let you in after a firm yank. The air was cooler than what was outside. You followed Baxter's directions from yesterday and navigated the wide halls. A left past the fire extinguisher and then a right the first set of doors. You found a set of thick glass doors. You peered into the large event room and had to be the place. Ooh, this is nice. You entered the space and noticed the towers of chairs on the sides of the room. It was easy to imagine the room filled with a crowd, but for now it had all been cleared for your private class. You walked across the empty tile floor to the counter at the back where Baxter was. He raised his head and waved you over, setting aside some notes he had been reading. With a paper and an elegant fountain pen left on the counter, he strode forward and met you in the middle of the large room. Welcome, Mean. I'm glad you could make it. Hey. You waved at him and smiled warmly. I hope you've been well. I'm ready to boogie. You pantomimed a few dance moves enthusiastically. Baxter chuckled. You've come to the right place. Baxter pulled a remote from his jacket pocket and clicked a button. A speaker system you hadn't noticed before crackled to life. Familiar music filled the room. He must have been busy to already have the songs you had talked about yesterday ready. He tucked the remote back into his pocket and then Baxter turned his attention on you. He offered you his hand. I'll lead at least at first. We can switch later if you prefer. His gesture felt grandly formal. He'd had enough performance practice to really feel as if he stepped out of a fairy tale ball. You took his hand ready to get started. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't. I love Baxter. This is making me nervous. Okay, his fingers linked around yours and he put his other arm across your back. You relaxed into the proper form for the dance, muscle memory taking over. Baxter did not attempt to direct you, just remaining present as a reliable partner. You followed the music, timing your steps to be rhythm until you found yourself relaxing into it. Practicing like this was helping to soothe out any creases your flow might have had before. Baxter suddenly smirked, the twitch of his lips getting your attention immediately. Oh, you know, I recall that it wasn't just dance lesson that was available for, was it? I also offered to give you rides whenever you needed them, didn't I? Hopefully I haven't let you down with that. No, you haven't. It took a moment before you understand what he was talking about. You laughed clear and bright. I think I'll be alright. We have our own cars now. You were impressed he still remembered, but then again, you also remembered it. It had been a particularly memorable summer all those years ago. Being friendly in the flow, the discussion died down. The only exchange was the music and the sole of your shoes on the sleek floor in time with each other's. Why did you never contact me again? He faltered in a step, throwing the dance to a halt. He recovered quickly, his toes going back to precisely forward motions. But his face still showed the strain of the upset. I know you had to go back to college, but I never understood why that meant you couldn't text or anything. He took a deep breath. Tremors went through his shoulders from the effort of keeping his perfect pose. I apologize for vanishing so thoroughly, not even attempting to keep in touch. It was unkind. His lips twitched. It was closer to a grimace than anything, resembling a smile, even though you thought that's what he was attempting. I didn't think it mattered at the time. To end it completely once I left Sunset Bird behind. At least that's what I told myself, or rather, what I hoped would be true. What? No! I wished hard that when you and everyone there didn't see me anymore, that you'd never think of me again. You'd go on with your lives happily and I wouldn't factor into it. He paused again. How did music sound so much like cold silence? That doesn't make much sense to you, I imagine. Oh my god, this ain't Cove. Baxter offered a one-shoulder shrug for your supposed trouble. You made a soft, encouraging noise. He took another deep breath and determination sparked in his eyes. It's the internal story of my life. I want to be liked, but I can't be important. A friend for seeds and a planner at a wedding. That's me. I'm not like him. Oh. No! What? Yes, you are like Cove. Cove is a fiance. He stays. He tries. Clingy. I think your friends and family like to joke. I never thought so. He didn't even care for me, but was willing to dance together to do a better job for his wedding. In life, there are just some ones, and then there's the one. You found your one. I'm genuinely thrilled that you did, and that he found his. All I want is to assist with that happiness and to not get in the way of it. What? Did he used to like us? Girl! Hold up! All I want is to assist with that happiness and to not get in the way of it. Girl! Oh my god, he used to like us! Ow, I just hurt my knee! Oh my god. Oh my god. Man, I wish. Oh my god. Oh my god. I want Baxter. I want Baxter. I'm sorry, everyone. I want Baxter. I don't want Cove. I'm sorry. Why is it so hard to choose between them? At first, I wanted Derek, but then honestly, I think he's just better off as a friend. But it's always been between Cove and Baxter ever since step 3. Oh my god. Why? But neither of us are here for our old relationship dynamic. That's ancient history. We don't need to get mirrored in the past when the future is so bright. Baxter's tone was pointed with finality. That was as much as he would say. The pace of the dance sped up, going back to what it had been before. You nearly stepped on his foot, the sudden change. Since he was clearly not going to discuss it more, you didn't attempt to pry for more details. This had gotten into incredibly personal territory. Yeah! You deserve to be important. He dropped his gaze at your words, uncomfortable with your with your sincerity. Okay, wait, I don't want to say that. I accept your apology. It was years ago, back when you both had some growing to do. You could forgive him. Well, it's not like I'm mad at it. I mean, I understand. Baxter schooled his face, and for all the world appeared like the conversation never affected him. Do you still dance often? I don't compete anymore, if that's what you mean. I haven't even kept up with it as a hobby lately. I do it for weddings, if the couple would like me to assist. He gazed into the distance somewhere else for a heartbeat, then he came back to you and smiled. I still love dance, clearly. He wiggled his eyebrows and put emphasis on his movements. You had to admit that he appeared happy enough during the session. There just isn't room for everything. I imagine that you've dealt with similar situations in your adult life. I see. Thanks for giving me an excuse to make time for a dance. Aww. No, thank you. You appreciate his expertise in this area. It was incredibly fortunate that he had the skill. You felt grateful for all the hours upon hours that he must have spent to get as good as he was. So, tell me, how did things go with Cove? Baxter chuckled as he led you to the left. You followed, watching his reaction more than your feet. Cove is a remarkably sweet man. You have nothing to worry about in more ways than just his dancing. But I won't say anything else. Instructor-client privilege. That response piqued your interest past simple curiosity. What had happened? The question was plain on your face, but Baxter suddenly focused on your heels. With him staring downward, you paid more attention to your timing. Very nice. It was clear that you weren't going to get more out of him on the topic. You focused on your movement. The acoustics of the room were surprisingly good for dancing. The music was at a good volume, and despite the tile flooring, the tapping of your steps didn't echo distractingly off the walls. You tried to relax your shoulders and place more confidence in your movement. Light? Am I stupid? Left foot, right foot, left foot, turn. You observed the easy way Baxter seemed to glide across the floor. Following his lead was easy, but you concentrated on taking it further. You mimicked what he did, attempting to learn his gracefulness. He chimed in after he noticed what you were doing and made small suggestions as needed. You both continued to dance as the song cycled through and back. Thoughts played in your mind about the surrealness of reconnecting with Baxter again after all these years without contact. However, that was secondary to your goal of dancing well in your upcoming wedding to the love of your life. Oh my god. It wouldn't be too much longer until you would be doing this with your husband. You wanted Baxter to continue leading the dance. He obliged easily. By the end of the session, night had fallen. You said goodbye to Baxter, and Cove came to pick you up in the car. You mirrored his actions from earlier in the day, climbing into the passenger seat and clicking in your seatbelt. He took the opportunity to copy you as well. So how'd it go? The amused sparkle in his eye let you know that using your words was completely and utterly intentional. You hummed one of the songs with a grin. I got that one stuck in my head too. It's going to be playing in my mind all night. Cove grinned widely happy for you. I'm glad this was a good idea. Also, did I thank you for buying me a snack earlier? It was good. You're welcome. I hope there's some left. You craned your neck around to inspect the backseat. You saw an additional sack and Cove laughed. Don't worry, I didn't eat everything. I bought some drinks to go with them. I thought they'd be nice for a post-dance pickup. Cove better know how much you loved him, especially in moments like this. Hey, seriously, what did you and Baxter talk about? You couldn't forget how Baxter phrased it all. You were too curious. When you were together, did something happen? I don't know. He sounded truly confused. He tried to think back, but it was apparent that nothing came to mind for him. We didn't talk about anything important. Why? Did he say something to you? It seemed like he was implying something. The angle of Cove's eyebrows crept into concerned territory, so you elaborated. It wasn't bad. It actually seemed good. He thinks you're sweet. Cove's brows pinched together. They were now approaching deep thought. I guess, well, I'm not good at dancing. I never have been. You know that. It's hard and nerve-wracking. And I made it clear what I was going through something I'm not cut out to do, who it was for. He showed you a soft smile and his eyebrows evened out to normal. Maybe that's what he meant. You blushed. Your eyes strayed to a window. The parking lot had emptied out from earlier this afternoon. It really was just you and Cove. Maybe it was. You felt very lucky to have such a loving fiancé. With the day's arrangements taken care of, Cove pulled out of the empty lot and started to drive away. Next time you were scheduled to come by, it would be for the usual kind of office visit, no dancing required. You highly anticipated meeting back up with Baxter. You had a good feeling about where this wedding was going. And that is where I'm going to leave today's episode, everyone. Oh my god, you guys. Holy crap. I cannot believe we found out that information. I think he used to like us or something. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm taking that the wrong way. Please let me know if I am, but, girl, we found some information and I'm ready for it. But yeah, everyone, we have one more thing to plan for our wedding, and it is the caterer. Pretty sure. But yeah, everyone, let's go and leave. Oh my god. Can't talk. And yeah, everyone, that's where I'm going to leave today's episode here. If you guys enjoyed it. But lastly, you're a gentleman. Thank you for watching. Wonderful day, everyone. Bye.